Hey, how you doing? Listen, I've excuse me, been away for a while now because life be lifing. I'm a mom to three kids, a busy schedule. I work two jobs. My kids are in sports. So it can get hectic for me and I miss coming on YouTube, but sometimes I just have to prioritize things. I have to kind of triage life. And so when I get a chance, because me and my ex-husband, we have like split custody. When they are away, my children, my beloved children, mommy comes out to play on YouTube. So here I am. So happy Saturday. This is a reminder to everyone to take care of yourself. Listen, I was a bum today. I was kind of like Alex. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I stayed in bed all morning because I wake up almost every day very early. Stayed in bed. I ordered Uber Eats breakfast. I was just chilling today. And I feel guilty sometimes, but listen, health, our health is of the utmost importance. Okay. So I took my meds today, my meds being my high blood pressure medication. I popped some ashwagandha gummies and I'm trying to drink water and stay in my house and mind my business. Okay. But the only business that I am all up in is this Love is Blind. I'm over it, y'all. I'm I'm over it. That's why I haven't been so eager to come up on these YouTube streets to discuss it because I'm disgusted. I literally am so confused with this season. At this point, bring Leo back. Bring Monsieur Leo back. We want Leo back because this is a shit show. So now, coming up on the heels of what episodes just came out this week, episodes 10 and 11. Now we are down to three, really two and a half couples because I don't think Ramses and Marissa are getting married because at the end of episode what is it, 11, Ramses looked like he about to dip out, and I'm not surprised. Ramses is a fuck boy, an El DeBarge fuck boy. Okay, we'll get to that later. So let me. All right. Okay. Let's start. Let's go with Tim and Alex. Listen, from the moment, I don't know if I mentioned this in my first review, from the moment they met on the red carpet, right? Is it the red carpet or whatever at the reveal? I said something ain't quite right, like Ramsey's curl about them. I felt it. They were not compatible. They were just hiding it. And a lot of these scenarios and scenes with this season triggered me because I went through a lot of this during my dating time and in my marriage. Word to advice, people. If you feel like it's not right, don't do it. I was a fool when I got married. You know why? I dated my ex husband for 7 years. We were together from the time I was 18 until my divorce, which was 38, 20 years. That's why I keep telling y'all, I have no clue what I'm doing in these dating streets. That's why I stopped dating. I completely gave up dating. I dated a little bit after my divorce. By the end of I divorced 2022. I think by November, I said, fuck this. Absolutely not. And I haven't dated since. I said, this is like, are you kidding me? I haven't dated since. I've had suitors and I honestly tell them no. I'm not about that life. Carry on with somebody else. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it because what we are seeing here on Love is Blind is a very good representation of these dating streets. So all throughout the 7 years I dated my ex-husband, I knew it wasn't right. I had sign after sign. I was in denial, y'all. I even had dreams. Let me tell y'all a story. And what I don't know if I should have a Patreon and tell y'all, listen, you guys don't know the half of what I've been through. Like, y'all don't know the half of it. Maybe I'll do a Patreon. It's a cautionary tale. And it was a good experience, even though it caused me a lot of pain, because this is what I tell my friends. A lot of my friends now are going through issues in their marriage. And I like to counsel them too sometimes, or tell them what to look out for. I will never champion divorce. Divorce is wrong. I'm a Christian. And that's why I stayed and stuck it out for 13 years of my marriage, even though it was fraught with abuse. But I'm a Christian. So I don't believe in divorce. Oh, I only believe in it under the guidelines that we are given. And finally, I remember my mom was like, girl, just, you know what? I know we're Christian and we're Haitian, but she was like, you have every right. My mom saw what I went through. She said, you have every right to divorce. And I think when she said that, I really feel like that's when I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. But basically, when it doesn't feel right, y'all, do not proceed. Do not collect the $200 engagement ring. Do not retreat, abort mission. But we as women, you know what we see? We see the fairy tale. Listen, we ignore all the red flags in front of us and we're instead looking into the future. We're seeing the white dress. We're seeing the pomp and circumstance. We're seeing ring. We're seeing friends and family and crying, the sentiments of it. That's what we're seeing as women. Men, listen, a man will go along with just about anything. They have no problems. Listen, a lot of men have no problems going through with it unless they are just so terrified that that's when they admit to themselves that they just can't do it and they'll leave you at the altar. But it may be all wrong and some men will go through with it. So Tim and Alex, we saw this from the beginning. Polar opposites. She says she gets annoyed easily. I remember that. She said she gets annoyed. I said, that's not good because he seems in his ways. I can see how his ways can annoy her. When we saw how slovenly her living conditions were, I said, he's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly with Tim. Tim is, I think he did. He served in the army. He's straight laced. Um, he's had a lot of loss in his life. Okay, that can really cause someone's guards to be up and hard to break through. We saw Tim's place very organized, very clean, very demure, right? You don't see that a lot with men, but he looks like he has a schedule and he sticks with it. He's very regimented. Alex is carefree. She's set in her own ways. I'm detecting that Alex possibly grew up as like a princess type, right? Maybe a little privileged, a little snobby, maybe. That they were, listen, it was a disaster waiting to happen. And so I feel like Tim, he will never forget. Tim will store up animosity. He will store it up and then he will count every mishap. I feel like every action that Alex committed that was not to his liking, he made a mental note. He made a mental note until it was time to deliver the death blow, which was him breaking up with her. And you could tell he had no remorse. He didn't give a fuck. He was done with. He was just trying to get back at her. That's what it was. And we see this because, listen, if we go back to when she met his parents, right? First of all, I don't know who raised Alex. When you go visit people, for my culture especially, and I know I think for most of the Caribbean culture, And I think this goes for Black Americans as well. Whenever you go to someone's house, you don't go with in Creole we say you don't go avec des mains des pieds. That means you don't go with your two hands and your 2 feet. That means you never come empty-handed. You bring something. And I've grown up watching my parents do this. Whoever's house they go to, even if it's a pack of paper towels or a bottle of soda, you bring something. A bottle of wine. Um, my I remember my mom's dear friend, my best friend's father. He would always bring like this soft, this it was a delicious bread. I forgot from which supermarket. It was bomb bread. And we didn't have that supermarket around where we lived. He had it up near where he lived. He would always bring that with cola champagne. That's champagne cola. That's like the Caribbean soda. He would always bring it nonstop. You have to bring something with you. She rolled up in his parents' house, like with her outfit was cute, right? Something like my 13-year-old would wear with her puffer vest, but her hands were in her puffer vest. Like it was very casual. I really feel like Tim noticed that. Listen, Tim is a spy. He was spying on Alex. Mental notes left and right. And then the mother's talking about Tim, whose real name is Drake, we found out, and talking about how he is and his ways. And then, the family, Tim's family, it's just him and his parents now. As we know, Tim basically trauma dumped on Alex. He's looking, and everyone's saying this, and I said this from the beginning. He's looking for a woman to fill the void of his sisters who have passed away. He had two sisters, they both passed away. That must be hard to deal with. But and I'm sorry to say this, I know people suffer from loss. You won't ever forget your deceased loved ones. But life goes on. And the Bible says that we just have to, just because you move on doesn't mean you forget. Like I'm looking at a picture of my dear grandmother now. It's on my wall. Every now and again, I talk to her. I look at the picture. I think about her. I get sad sometimes, like I am getting now, but I know that she is protecting me. I know that she's guiding me. I know that she's there for me. I know it. And that comforts me. That comforts me. And what's funny is I bring my grandmother up. She even she met my ex-husband. She was looking at him sideways too, but she was like, girl, whatever. That is hilarious. But I remember she was like, yeah, I don't really think so, but hey, you know. But anyways, so Tim, listen, they're both at fault. They should have let it go. And then when we get back to their place, Tim wants to talk to her. Alex is hungry, right? Alex is hungry. She's fixing up a plate. You could tell Alex likes to eat. But since the show, she's lost a lot of weight. She looks really good. So they're talking, and the conversation between them was very confrontational. It was non-productive. And it was antagonistic. It was passive aggressive. It was all those things. That it was a terrible conversation. You can tell their spirits just don't mesh. It does not mesh. And after that, he was just berating her and picking on her because she took a nap after the cameras went down. But she said she worked all day and then she sat and talked to his parents for 4 hours. I mean, listen, when you're talking to someone for 4 hours to people you just met, and then they were basically talking about how she's going to fill a void for them. That can be exhausting. Listen, after a while, I get overstimulated and I just cannot life anymore. And in that moment. So I need a break. I get it. It's hard though because they're his parents. I probably would have stuck it out, but she just Alex was like, I don't give a fuck about y'all. I'm going to sleep. And Tim earmarked that as one of the reasons to break up with her. Tim, listen, you need a housewife. Tim basically wants a housewife who will clean and cook and be the image, be in the image of his sisters and his mother, and who's not a woman of today's times. That's what Tim wants. Tim has an old soul. He seems like he has an old country bumpkin soul, and Alex was not it. I can't believe they even went through it, because the thing is, in the pods, everyone's saying what each other wants to hear. So you don't see the person, you don't see their ways, you don't see how they live. Everyone paints a picture, and this happens on the dating apps as well and over the phone. What you're saying sounds good. You're feeding the person word salads and affirming them, so the other person paints a picture of you. And in real life, yes, some of what you've said are a part of your personality, but the other parts of you that are not mentioned in the pods will come out as well. And those are the parts where people get turned off. Alex didn't say to him, "Oh, you should see my apartment right now. It's a mess. I'm slovenly at times. I need a nap at times. Um, I'm tired. I can't talk for 4 hours straight. Um, are you sure you want a wife or someone to replace your sisters?" Like, if she said all that as well, oh, it would have been done. But people don't. That's the problem. We're not, and it's human nature. We're not honest. We all have a mask on. Our representatives are the ones talking at first. So that's the end. I'm tired of them. That's the end of them. I know. And the thing, Alex, oh yeah, one more thing. Alex was pissed off because he wrote her dad a whole letter expressing his feelings. That's the part that's fucked up. She's right about that. 2 days prior to this, to her meeting his parents, he wrote a heartfelt letter about Alex, about marrying her, cooked for her family, and did all that. And then 2 days later, because she didn't wash the dishes and she took a nap and she didn't respond to your text, Tim, it's over. That's the fucked up part. See? Because he wrote that letter knowing that he wasn't being fully honest about his feelings with Alex. And even when they went to meet his parents, he went outside with his parents. And he even expressed to his mother, "Listen, I don't know if we match like that." It's like, see, that's what I don't like. This goes back to what I was saying. Some men, well, not some, a lot of men, even when the signs are all there, they will roll with the punches. They'll keep going through it. Why would you do? He's wrong in that aspect. And I hope they ask him that at the reunion. Why did you write that letter? What happened? What transpired in those 2 days for you to just break off an engagement? Because for him to give Alex his sister's bracelet or something, a necklace, and all this, see, that's a big red flag right there. He can turn it on and off. Tim can turn it on, his feelings on and off. That's scary. And then oh yeah, let me play a video. And then I think Alex said she was interviewed by someone, and she said she hasn't spoken to Tim since, because they had a speakeasy thing or whatever. They had a roaring 30s party, and at that party she didn't say a word. Was Olua Stefan at that party? I didn't see him. But anyways, they didn't say a word to each other. Tim is a savage. He is. All right, so let's see what TikTok has to say. I always like to bounce back to TikTok because there's a lot going on in the TikTok Instagramosphere. So a lot of people are getting on Alex for saying that, she's wrong. What are they saying? Tim's a good guy and she's wrong for going to sleep. I don't know. Listen, they're both wrong in my opinion.
Alex just
All right,
okay.
let's go.
So I can't tell if Alex just doesn't care about anything because we all saw how messy her apartment was, or she just has like really, really bad home training and has zero manners. These two finally had the conversation that they probably should have had after that fight in Mexico. So, in one of the most recent episodes, Tim takes Alex to meet his family. Look at how she walks in. You guys notice how she walked in with her hands in her pocket? I thought that was so weird. Look, she gets closer to them, still hands in the pocket. Hugging the dad, still has her one hand in the pocket. So like want your in-laws to like you. Clearly, she does not care because she's not even like greeting them in a warm way. Which then brings me to this conversation. Tim is upset with Alex because his parents drove 10 hours to meet her and she decided to take an hour nap in the midst of them being there. And I feel like he had every right to be irritated with her because when you're meeting your future in-laws, you want to put your best foot forward. In this scene, he asks if they can talk, and she's like, "Oh, I haven't eaten all day." And then she like brings that plate over, even though that food looked so good. I can't even lie. Like, I just feel like there's a lack of self-awareness and between the messy apartment that she knew was going to be filmed, taking a nap while his parents were there, and like her not even being aware enough to be like, let me set this plate aside so that I can give this man my full attention. When he said what he said at the end to her, I was like, I get it. I get it. He's fed up. Okay, so
All right, y'all see that? This is basically echoes what I said. Let's
Episodes
see
10
if
and
there are any
11,
other. Oh,
Alex
here
and
we go.
Tim. So
This is
last
a
week's
Tim
episodes, I really
Sucks
didn't have much
video.
to say about these two because really we didn't see much of them. We just saw her dirty ass apartment and his super cute interaction with her dad, which actually made me cry. And honestly, up until these recent episodes, I was Team Tim. I thought Alex was our villain. But after this week's episodes, Tim is on my fucking shit list. Because how are you mad at this girl for taking a 1 hour nap? I can understand if she was asleep for 5 or 6 hours. Like, I can understand how you can see that being rude after your parents drove 10 hours, but she just talked to them for 4 hours and she took a 60-minute nap. 60 minutes. Tim is one of those guys that thinks that because they're talking calmly and because they're not yelling, that they're not being rude. I found his conversation with Alex to be very condescending, very dismissive, very manipulative, very fucking passive aggressive, using language like, are you going to let me finish? Is it a possibility that I can
See, that's funny. Isn't that what I just said? All of those words to describe their interaction, they just do not mesh.
finish? Like, am I going to get to speak? I would have got up and walked away because that type of language, you're talking down to me. You're
Look at this comment. He wanted to leave since Cabo. He played the long game and did. That's what I said about men. They will listen. They will stick it out, but make your life a living hell. I'm surprised Tim even broke up with her.
You're talking to me like I'm a child. You're talking to me like you're above me. And nah, bruh, you're not having conversations like that. Because you was inserting your little 2 cents, but every time she did it, it was a problem. Are you gonna let me finish? Would you like me to answer? It's no, I don't want you to answer. Stop fucking talking to me and spraying your goddamn hairline while you at it. Anyway, to me, I saw a lot of growth between her first argument with Tim and her second argument with Tim. To me, she was being very receptive. She was not being aggressive. She was not being rude. She was taking in what he was saying, trying to understand and trying to rebuttal. He was being an ass and she was getting agitated. I could see her getting agitated, but I would get agitated too with the way he was speaking to her. It was so fucking condescending. When he told her that she doesn't get to dictate when they speak, but you're literally getting mad at her because you weren't able to speak to her when you wanted to. You wanted to talk with her through text and she didn't answer and you weren't available. So now that she wants to call you later, she doesn't get to dictate when y'all speak, but you do. Like, sir, make it make sense. People have different communication styles. Some people like to text, some people like to talk, some people like, I had a person I was dating that didn't like to text all day, but then wanted to call and catch up on phone for 2 hours at the end of the night. Learn each other's communication styles, especially if you are trying to get married. Tim is the kind of man that thinks it's a privilege for a woman to be married. Like, you should just want to be married because I can make you a wife. But sir, you are nobody's husband. What I want for my life and what I want in my wife is not you. Like, oh, do you think that that's a diss? You not my husband either, because you balding. It's like, to Alex's point, if your mind's made up, then why are we even talking? Like, I wouldn't have said nothing else. I'd have been like, bye. Because you want to end an engagement because I didn't clean the dishes. You want to end an engagement because I took a nap. You want to end an engagement because I didn't respond to a text. Like, sir, you are so fucking unserious. Get out of my shared apartment that Netflix is paying for. And then when he said he put in work because he cuddled her, get the fuck out. Like, yeah, do you know how hard that was for me to cuddle and you didn't appreciate it? Yeah, because she was asleep. What? Tim got on my last nerves these few episodes. Then his language that he uses, he tries to make it seem like he's just doing something. I woke up at 8. I had to hunt down groceries, figure out the grill, season the meat. Oh my God, you had to season the fucking meat, Tim. Then I had to do the dishes. You didn't even do the dishes. So you said all that to say that you're mad she didn't do the dishes. You saw her motherfucking apartment. Did you really think she was going to do them goddamn dishes? And if you wanted her to do the dishes, you should have asked. He wants a mind reader. Y'all don't know each other. It's been 3 weeks. You have to communicate. And that was Alex's point. Like, tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want me to do. And she seemed like she was willing to do those things. He's dismissive. He's arrogant. He always thinks he's right. He's the type of guy that's not going to see any fault in anything he does. He thinks he's just fucking perfect because he talks calmly. There's no scenario where I see myself standing there and making you my wife forever. Okay. There's no scenario where I see you growing back your hairline. Yeah. You fucking Nara, Tim. Like, you could just tell by the end of the conversation, he was purposely trying to be rude. He was purposely trying to hurt her feelings. He wanted her to beg. He wanted her to plead. He wanted her to be like, no, we can make this work. And I'm so glad she didn't. We can both agree that I don't ever want to see you again. Well, bitch, I don't want to see you either. Bye. Let that man go. He was never ready for marriage if he was going to end things with you over fucking dishes, over fucking, like, unless there was more to that conversation, like, bruh, you.
Okay, so we get the point. Tim, I can't fully put blame. It was just wrong from the beginning. Wrong from the beginning. All right, let's move along. Okay, now we have who else? Who else is worth talking about? Oh my God. All right. Damn, should we go to Okay, Ramses and Marissa. Everyone is, I don't know. I really thought Ramses and Marissa was going to make it. But when they were in Cabo, that's when I said, I don't think so, because their relationship is purely physical. Purely physical. And a lot of people was getting on Marissa's mother. Listen, her delivery was a little strong, but besides that, I agree with everything she said. Everything. We want prenup. If I were, and I've said this before, if I am ever that crazy enough to get married again, we want prenup. I don't give a flying fuck. When I was getting married at 25, I would be like, oh my God, a prenup. Yes, we want prenup. And she was a little harsh. I know. The only thing is, I wouldn't have called my daughter a bitch, but I would have said, listen, my daughter's she could be a little dense sometimes and a little, off, but she's harsh. I think the mother's military as well, but everything else, I agree with mom. Especially, did you guys see the part where Marissa told her mom when she was little, I'm going to be a wife? She said, no, the fuck you're not. You better fucking take your ass to school. I agree 100%. And that's what I tell my children, not my daughters only, my children now. Go the fuck to school. take your mother fucking ass to school, because you are all you have. And I'm learning this even now. And I thank God every day. If you're not an entrepreneur, listen, school may not be for everyone. If you're an entrepreneur and you have that spirit, fine. You can make millions on your own. You can make a sustainable income, and you don't require a W-2 or W-4, right? Listen, by all means. But as for me and my house, we going the fuck to school. That's the Haitian way. That's how I was born and raised. That's the Caribbean way. I'm talking about what I know. I think even Africans, listen, you may want to be a singer, a dancer, a this, of that, create, fine. And I remember my parents told me this, fine. You want to do something, because the other part of me, I've always wanted, I remember for the longest time, I love music. Listen, I have an ear for music. I love music. I always wanted to be in the background, like maybe even producing or a DJ. And that's still my dream. Like, I love DJing, everything about the whole art of DJing, I love. And I remember my parents were like, listen, you could do whatever you want, but you better bring me back that degree first. Bring me back that degree. And then after that, you can go, listen, you could go do your little music, DJ, whatever, as a hobby. But I want that degree. And many Haitians I know that do things on the side, a lot of my friends and my peers, they have a degree they can fall back on. All of them have a degree they can fall back on. And then a lot of other people I know, they do art, they do background vocals, they do their other little businesses, they do crafts, but they have a degree. Business, health, law. One of my friends, she's a lawyer. She's Haitian. She's a lawyer. She went and got her lawyer degree first. And then she went back to school. Her passion is children and teaching. She went back and got a teaching degree. She's still a lawyer, but she's primarily a teacher. But the thing is, teachers are not known to make a good salary. So she got her law degree, because, with Haitians, it's lawyer, doctor, engineer, and now some healthcare occupations like nursing. Nursing is a top one that's acceptable, and then other allied health. But with us, it's the Trinity: lawyer, doctor, engineer. So I totally understand Marissa's mom. I told my kids, I require academic excellence, because a man can leave you, a woman can leave you, you can get a divorce, but what won't ever leave you is your degree. Your degree will never leave you. Your degree will sustain you. If I did not go to school, y'all, if I did not go to school and get an education and have a steady career as a single mom right now, because I would have never predicted being a single mom, I would not have been able to support myself at all, at all, at all, at all. I'm telling y'all. So that's my take in life. If you're not an entrepreneur, you don't have that spirit, go fucking get a degree. Please do. Anyways, so Marissa's mom, I totally agree with her. So now we see Ramses fucking doing an about face, because like I said before, their whole relationship was physical. And I said a relationship cannot stand alone on sexual intimacy and being physical with each other. So what do we have now, y'all? Ramses is being a little bitch because Marissa, I feel like she's pulling away. She had her period and she was PMSing, and she has low vitamin D. That can take a lot out of you. I have low vitamin D. Oh, yes. Okay, guys, let me give you a news flash. Since we're on the topic and I like to impart knowledge, as Black people, we have a higher content of melanin, right? Our skin is darker. So, because our skin is darker, we do not get a lot of sunlight, right? Not enough sunlight equals not enough vitamin D because we get naturally vitamin D from the sun, okay? Many people of darker complexions, especially women, darker skinned women, we suffer from low vitamin D in the winter, especially. We're not getting a lot of sunlight. You're spending a lot of times indoors. I remember my vitamin D got so low once. I think it was a 5. I want to say normal range has to be, I'm trying to think. 30 maybe 25, 20, 25, 30. That's like low, like normal. Okay. You can get by with that. I was at like a 5. Y'all, the doctor put me on 50,000 units of vitamin D. That's how low it was. It was so low. And vitamin D attributes to bone health, you guys, right? Here goes the STEM nerd. Here goes the science nerd. But I want to help you guys. I care for you guys. I love you guys. I want to help you. It was so low that and I had gained a lot of weight from having my child too at that point, right? And I was walking around a lot, I remember. That my foot fractured. I had a stress fracture out of nowhere. And then the doctor's like, "Yeah, you have low vitamin D. You're at risk for fractures." They put me on 50,000 units. Y'all. So it's serious. And low vitamin D too leads to depression. We don't get a lot of sun. And that's why I love my cruises. You're in the sun all day long. I need to go on one real quick. I love it. I just love them because it's awesome. Whenever I'm in the Caribbean, y'all, I'm in Florida. Oh, I'm living like I feel immediately uplifted. It's because I'm getting sun. Listen, the sun is your best friend, y'all. Oh, I love the sun. Anywho, so that's what Marissa is going through. Ramses is upset because he ain't getting the punani. And I really feel like even though he doesn't want to admit it, if they break up, this is what it was. First, he's complaining about condom sex is uncomfortable. Okay, Ramses. So what do you rather? You rather safe condom sex or STD raw sex? Pick one. Like I was so annoyed by him. But listen, lest we forget. This is why I was like, makes sense. Ramses is Caribbean, y'all. What is he, Guyanese and something else? He's a Caribbean man. I knew it was going to come out. I knew it was going to come out. He's trying to act all progressive, right? And I couldn't believe it. You being all progressive and this and that. Oh, but no, you better get on birth control. What? Are you kidding me, Ramses? At the end of the day, he could act all progressive all he wants. He's still a Caribbean man. And that Caribbean ideology, listen, that Caribbean ideology trumps any progressive bullshit that he was trying to be on. It trumps it all because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck where you are from the Caribbean. Haiti, Dominican Republic, even Puerto Rico, uh, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana. I think Guyana is mostly South American, but still, we as a whole, Latinos, Hispanic, Caribbean, we as a whole are we are very conservative. We are conservative, y'all. Miss me with the bullshit. A lot of us are conservative. So you could try to act like you're liberal. No, you're not. And what he did right there, that was so Caribbean of Ramsey. That was so Caribbean. I remember when I'm always going to bring it back to my experience because that's why I was triggered by all this. I remember my ex-husband said something to me, disrespected me so bad, y'all. Because sex is important to men, especially Caribbean men. Oh, it's a wrap. Let me tell y'all, and I might divulge it in a Patreon one day. He said something so inflammatory to me. I was like, oh, hell no. He said this to me in 2018. We divorced in 2022. But from 2018 on, I stopped having sex with him because I said, this is the last time you get to disrespect me. This is the last time. You cannot be with someone and expect sex from them and disrespect them. It doesn't fly like that. A lot of men think you need to put out no matter what. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So he said something so vile to me, I stopped having sex with him. Don't you know that that was the beginning of the end? And I just didn't care anymore. That was the beginning of the end. When I tell you this dude just he he spiraled. He spiraled and he knew why. And he never apologized. He knew what was the reason, but he never apologized. He just took the anger, because men, sex, I mean, they need to release. But he took his anger out on me, and the abuse ensued and got so bad that we had no choice but to divorce. But I stood my ground. I did not sleep with him, because absolutely not. So I'm just illustrating to you guys how sex is yes, it is a big, big part of marriage. A lot of men too are not aware of how they treat their wives, what they say to their wives. That can mess with our mood. That can mess with us. And we're not going to want to put out. I remember, I like to share little anecdotes with you guys. I remember when I was withholding sex, it got so bad. Even my mom, who is oh my God, we never spoke about sex, me and my mom, ever. Like, traditional Caribbean, Haitian parents, they don't talk. They don't talk about that. But finally, my mom was like, what is going on with you guys? And I told her, and she was like, you need to sleep with him. She was like, you need to sleep with him. I don't think I told her what he said to me. Even my mom pled with me. She was like, no, you need, she was like, he's spiraling, he is out of control. Because she was like, what is going on with him? Because I was in tears constantly from the abuse, y'all. I spent straight 3 years nonstop crying. But I took that abuse because I refused to sleep with him. I said, absolutely not. I'm not doing, nope. And I'd give me the abuse. I don't care. You don't get to talk to me like that. Even my mom said, sleep with him. I said, no. Because at the end of the day, I have dignity. Like, I'm not just a robot wife that you can just mistreat and then you still expect sex from. Absolutely not. And that's what I see Ramses was doing to Marissa. And I feel like if they didn't get married, had they got married, I can see the same thing happening to Marissa, where she doesn't feel like doing it. And he's going to make her feel bad for not wanting to have sex. He's, what about when, like she said, what if I get sick? What if God forbid, a woman gets cancer? Do you know a lot of men cheat on their wives when they're terminally ill or have cancer or something? And Marissa was like, oh my, and I feel like Marissa began to pull away after that when she realized this dude cares more about the box than me. Yes, sex is important in a marriage, but if it's not you cannot expect it when the person physically just cannot do it. And a lot of men, I'm Caribbean, a lot of Caribbean men subscribe to that. That's why a lot of Caribbean men have plenty of women on the side. They have their main wife. They have their wife. They'll take care of. Listen, let me tell you something about Haitian men. They will take care of the fuck out of you. They will provide for you. They will work for you. They will die for you. They will provide for you. You ain't gotta work. You ain't gotta do nothing. But they'll have a whole other family Well, they'll have a whole other wife, quote unquote wife on the side. They will. Oh yes. Because a lot of Haitian women too, a lot of Haitian women are not sexual like that. A lot of Haitian women are Christian and they see sex as only a means to have babies, and they're not really sexual. Haitian women, they're not swinging from the ceilings, from the chandeliers. It's very vanilla sex, um missionary. They're not doing that. So Haitian men always have a little Marie Solange on the side. Always. The wife ain't doing all that. Hell, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing it, y'all. Maybe in my younger days with my ex-husband, yeah, I might have, done doggy and all that, but I don't know. I'm not, if I get with someone else, I'm gonna tell them straight up, I'm only having vanilla sex. You ain't doing no back shots. I'm not giving you head. I'm not doing it. No. First of all, I get cramps. Absolutely not. No, I don't know, man. But anyways, so that's it with Ramses and Marissa. She dodged a bullet. Ramses is Caribbean and fake progressive. And, I see right through him. I see right through him and his El DeBarge hair. And I think he's become a villain. I really feel like Ramses is okay, so the villains so far of this season is Tyler is number 1, Hannah number 2. For me, I would say it's a tie between Tim and Ramses. I think Tim, because he knows how to shut it on and off. He's dangerous. And number 4 is Ramses. Number 5, Oluwa Stefan, but Oluwa Stefan told us who he was. So I wasn't surprised. So all of a sudden, Oluwa Stefan is going to stop being a cheater once he comes on the show. You're not going to change overnight. Get the fuck out of here. So Stefan, I give him a pass. All right. I'm not even. Number 6, Leo. First of all, Leo is harmless. Bring his ass back. Leo is harmless compared to what we have seen thus far. So let's see what these streets are saying about Feel a Beat of the Rhythm of the Night. Hold on. I also wanted to add that Ramses is dangerous because he's one of those guys that plays on being soft and vulnerable, but yet once they have you in their grasp, they will try to mold you into what they want you to be and dim your light. So I feel like men like Ramses will attract powerful and bubbly and self-assured women and slowly dim their light. Like I feel like he's done to Marissa, because Marissa is so pure. Oh my God, Marissa's my favorite. So nice, so pure, so angelic. And Ramsey sees that in her and will dim her light. He's dangerous. Let's watch. Oh my God. Look at this comment. He's a Cancer man. I said this in the first video. Cancer man. Hey, it's a no. Been there, done that. Let's see any other videos. Come on, come on. Oh, here we go.
By Ramses. Yeah, I know what it is, guys. It's
Everybody feels bamboozled. I hope you guys can hear this.
because the bar is down here. So anyone who's slightly above that, we're like, oh my God, he's a god. He's a godsend.
No, this is 5 days ago. I want something that's more recent.
There's no way you let him
Who
come in here.
Oh, baby, I like it, bro.
Oh, why are they doing this?
Let's be
I want something more recent. Oh, not them calling Ramses Pirate of the Hey! Yeah. No, they didn't. Y'all need to stop. Okay.
What is going on with these?
Oh, here we
two?
go.
They are
My
slowly
favorite
seeing their
story
downfall.
time.
We got yet
with-
another
what's her name, Ricky?
post-conversation fight. Like, we seem to really miss something that happened between the two of them. We're catching the aftermath, trying to piece together what the fuck happened. And it's like, am I understanding correctly that he was getting upset that they weren't having sex because she was sick? Nah, that couldn't have been it. This whole like, I want to make sure the physical intimacy is right before marriage. Like, I want to make sure this isn't going to be a common thing. Like, I think Marissa made it very clear that she's with it. Okay, she was bouncing on that pogo stick left and right in Cabo. How could you possibly feel like the physical intimacy is not there? Is it not right because she didn't want to do it sick? Like, what am I missing? Like, we missed some huge context. Like, producers, production, whoever's filming this shit, get it together and capture the fights. Marissa seemed to be like shutting down in these episodes. She really seemed to be over it. She's just like, it's fine, like not really wanting to talk about much. Ramses' personality really fucking confuses me. Just as much as than two motherfucking dreads on the side of his head. Like, I'm very confused because when he's communicating, he comes off like he's understanding. He comes off like he's hearing you. He comes off like he's a healthy communicator and receiving what you're telling him. And then he turns around and complains about shit like wanting sex to feel good, so he don't want to use a condom. Or, if what I'm gathering correctly, throwing a fucking tantrum because he ain't got none in a few days. Did I gather that situation correctly? Is that why he was tripping? To Marissa's point, there will be times in a relationship where physical intimacy is not going to be at the forefront, like when I'm 9 months pregnant or when I just pop out a baby. I literally will not be able to be intimate with you. Is that going to be a problem? That seems super duper important to him, which again, physical intimacy is a very important part of a marriage. But it's like, if somebody's sick or if they're on their period or if they just had a baby or if they just had surgery or if, they're ill, there will be times where you don't want to jump each other's bones, and that's okay. And then he was like all happy because he said they figured it out quickly. Was that like implying that you got some, so now you're happy? Like, what the fuck is happening? And honestly, him not knowing her fucking birthday is a huge red flag. Like, sir, why the fuck would I marry you? Like, when she said like, do you even know my name? Like, I felt that because like, we can't possibly be getting married. You don't even know my birth date, sir. And then again, at the end, we see another fight that like we didn't get the full context to. Some outside influence changed his mind. Like, what did you say to this outside influence? What was that fight about? We got no context. But what we did get is that they're starting to crumble. They seem to have a lot of differences. And even though it appears that they have very healthy communication, like all throughout these episodes, I didn't hate them. Like, I didn't hate them together. He still comes off as like very understanding, able to communicate, able to receive, like comes across as like this very healthy guy. But then it's like, no, you're not healthy if you're complaining about not getting ass for a couple days. Someone's fucking sick. It's giving secret fuckboy. Like, it's giving secret red flag. And honestly, Marissa's just, she seems such a light. She seems so positive. She seems so optimistic towards the future.
All right. So, moral of the story, Ramses is a fuck boy who is sex driven, doesn't care about women. And I'm curious to see what the reason was for his divorce with his ex-wife. I'm curious to see that. And I'm triggered by this because I went through something similar. Let me give y'all another tidbit, okay, from my marriage. So as I was being wheeled into the OR to give birth to my third child, this is in 2018. My ex-husband was there with my mom. And I remember as they're taking us back, he told my mom, listen, if she, meaning me, doesn't have sex with me, after this, I'm getting a divorce. While I'm about to give birth to our daughter who came about because we had sex. Listen. This is what I even saying that now. I'm just like, oh my god, I just cannot. And you know what? Throughout the pregnancy, I could not have sex. Listen to this, y'all. Throughout the pregnancy, I was unable to have sex because in the beginning of the pregnancy, I had some spotting, and the doctors said, please refrain from sex. They told me to refrain from sex because of I was risking bleeding. I had spotting. I told my ex-husband this. He said, okay. And we didn't have sex. I was afraid. And do you know throughout the pregnancy too, I was abused in that pregnancy. He threw things at me. He would call me names, screaming, argument while I'm pregnant, y'all. Oh, I thank God. I thank God. It's hard being single now sometimes. I thank God, y'all. I thank God every day for this peace that I have now because I was living in a war. Anyways, all right, who are we moving on to now? Let me see. All right, okay, let's go to Hannah and Nick. Hannah is, if she's not number one, who did I say was number one? Tyler's number one, but Hannah Montana with your big back, your big swimmer's back. She looks like she was a swimmer. She has like that swimmer's shoulder, broad shoulder. Hannah, again, constantly putting Nick. A lot of people didn't like Nick in the beginning, but now a lot of people are team Nick because of how Hannah treated him. And if I were Nick's mom, oh, Hannah would have caught a beat down. You're not talking to my son like that. The thing with Nick is he's sheltered. I think he's 28. He's young. Nick is sheltered. Like, he doesn't have to pay rent. Nick is like my brother. I have a 26-year-old brother. When I tell you this dude has like no life experience, my brother is sheltered to the utmost. Sheltered and doted on. He didn't really have to ever pay for much. I'm trying to instill some, adulting in his life. But hey, my parents, they keep supporting him. So who am I? But is Nick's mom Cuban? Because I know she made ropa vieja. Is she Cuban? I don't know. Nick got a little twang too. He'd be like, yeah, bet, I bet. Nick talks like that too. Did y'all notice that? I need to know if Nick got a little suavemente in him, some adobo, because Nick gives me that. And if his mom is some kind of Latiner, then that explains a lot. Let me tell you something. Caribbeans, Latinos, a lot of them dote on their sons. Oh my God, they dote. I've been my mom, not my mom, my daughter says I dote on my son. I think I'm hard on him. I think it's a perfect balance because I don't want him to be an F boy. So I'll kind of give him some tough love, but I also do, young boys, it's different. But I feel like Nick was a superstar athlete, right? His parents wanted that for him. He went to College of William and Mary, I believe, which is a good school. Is that here on the East Coast? That's a good school. He was a jock. He probably was a star athlete. He didn't have to, he was seen as a good boy. That he's that guy. Nick is that guy. He has a lot of charisma. So he's charmed his way through life. He might be even a little spoiled by his parents. And then pair him up with Hannah, big back Hannah, who has had to grow up early. Okay, so Hannah comes from one of those households that say, okay, you're 18 now, go out there and get it and figure it out, bitch. And I know a lot of Caucasian people do that. A lot of Caribbean people don't, Africans and Caribbeans, the longer you stay home, the better. Like they want you home. Like my parents right now, if I wanted to, I can go back home. They just bought a house big enough that they even have a bedroom there for me and my kids. I can go back home. They prefer that. When you move out of a Caribbean home, it's like a death. They're like, oh my God. So it seems like Nick comes from that and Hannah comes from the other. So they already, it's already unequal. So it's unfair to Hannah. Listen, Hannah, if she really loved Nick, you don't down him for what he doesn't know. Understand that he doesn't know. Show him. But a lot of women don't have the patience for that. A lot of women don't have the patience for that, and they want a man already established. But those already established men might not want you, Big Back Hannah. You're single. Why are you still single? So, and Hannah should have worked with him, should have took the lead. Some women will. They'll build a man up in a good way. Just show him the ropes. Because it's not his fault how he grew up. But no, she expects him, and it turned really cruel. She expects him to know certain things, which his mother did everything for him. And I think Hannah is a hater. She was hating on him. Oh my, Hannah reminds me of Tim. Some people are just so sheltered. I feel like Alex is sheltered too. A lot of these people are adults, you know, their kids walking around with adult costumes on. And in this day and age, a lot of people are not growing up as fast as people did back in the days, or how us millennials had to. Where my 80 to 85 babies? Where we at? A lot of us, for Gen X is the one, they had to grow up quick. And then the early millennials, we had to grow up fast too. But Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they weren't so lucky. Like my brother's age. First of all, real estate is insane. You can't really buy a house like that unless you have like a really listen. If you buy like a 400, no, if you buy I think like a $200,000-300,000 house. First of all, good luck getting a decent house in that price range. With these interest rates, you're looking at a mortgage that's like maybe $3,000 plus, which is insane. The same house, a lot of people a few years ago, when these kids were in college or starting college, interest rates were in the 2s and the 3s. That same house, it's like $1,000 mortgage, $1,500 mortgage. So Gen Z, I feel bad for. Hannah lucked up and was able to navigate her way through life. But most Gen Zs are unable to. Even us as early millennials, we got lucky. Do you know what saved us? You know what saved me? That I was able to buy a house during the first real estate crisis in the 2008s. The housing market crashed. That's how I was able to buy my starter home. So unless the housing market crashes again, which I don't think, listen, real estate is disgusting now. Like, I was helping my parents purchase their home, and I remember the realtor telling me, listen, deals are falling through left and right. Like, people's finances aren't going through at all. So unless we have another crash, a lot of these Gen Zs, unless you have a good job, even the ones with good jobs, you have to be making over 200 to live decently. A lot of Gen Z are not going to be able to buy a home. They're going to be apartment living, and apartment living is expensive as well. So anyways, Hannah was just cruel and nasty to him for no reason. And then there was another girl in the pods that Nick connected with. What was her name? I forgot her name. But it just so happened that that's Anna's best friend. Listen, Hannah, didn't y'all meet in the pods or on Love is Blind? How is she your best friend in the whole wide world? That's a red flag to me too. I hate when people try to latch on you by calling you their best friend. You just met. You literally just met. You don't know that bitch from Adam's apple. Are you kidding me? That's dangerous right there. So he was flirting with her. I forgot the girl's name. Nick was flirting with her, but I feel like his flirting is harmless. But Hannah went at him for that as well. At one point, I feel like Nick almost came to tears and he says, I don't feel like you're equal. Like that was mental and emotional abuse. That also triggered me as well. Listen, this whole season triggered me. This whole season triggered the fuck out of me. The way she berated him. Hannah, you are a cunt. I'm sorry. Now let's go over to TikTok because I can't. Nobody deserves to be spoken to like that. I don't care how much he doesn't know. It's not his fault. Oh, so punish him for having a great upbringing and doting parents. My God. Hannah is a bully. Oh, I'm not going to play these whole videos, but you get the gist. You get the it's just, oh my God, terrible.
What do you think you is, Geppetto? Talking about I made you into a man.
No, she didn't call him Geppetto.
I made you into a real boy. The way she talked.
Hannah did tell that was so emasculating. She said, I turned you from a boy to a man. I made you into something boy to a man. That makes no sense. Hannah has such a sense of what do you call it? What do you? Oh my God, I'm losing. What do you call it when you think you are bigger than you are? That's what she thinks she is.
Talks to this man is insane. I've never seen nothing like it. It's definitely giving Zenib 2.0 because I read Nick. You don't read, bitch. I don't motherfucking have to.
Oh yes, another villain was Zainab. Right, the way she emasculated. Was it Steven? Zainab, remember she was from a few seasons ago. That was really sad. Oh,
read if I don't want to, bitch. What are you, hooked on phonics? When she told this man you get treated like an equal when you contribute like an equal, I'm like, doesn't every person, regardless of their status, stature, job, doesn't everybody deserve respect? Because I thought it was so strange that the main thing on her list is respect, yet you disrespect this man every chance you get. Like you literally have no respect for him whatsoever, yet you want to scream respect. RESPCT, bitch, you have none. Now, granted, not knowing where a garbage disposal is annoying. You can tell that Nick has been very coddled. He doesn't have many real life experiences. I can see how that can be annoying. I can see how he is immature in a lot of ways and not ready for marriage by any means. He doesn't even like to eat cat, for goodness sake.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating.
Oh, yes. So, Hannah, this is fucked up on camera. That's how you know Hannah is mean spirited because with these reality shows, you are mic'd up and they're listening to everything you say. So, she was complaining how Steven during sex doesn't eat her out. Okay. I can't believe she said that. But maybe he don't want to eat you. Maybe you got a funky pussy. Did you ever think of that, Hannah? You berate him. Why would he reward you with eating your pussy? Why would he reward you? Why? This goes back to everything I said before. You listen, you're berating me. You're insulting me. You're emasculating me. And then you want me to please you? Get the fuck out of here.
Eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat
the cat. Yeah.
So I understand how that dynamic can be frustrating, where you feel like you're constantly mothering somebody, telling them what to do, and instructing and teaching all the time. However, that does not give you a right to demean somebody, talk down on them, belittle them, act like you better than them. If that is not the dynamic that you want in a partner, then leave. I do agree with Hannah that at 28, Nick should know certain things, like where the fuck a garbage disposal is, and if you don't know where it is, then figure it out. It's by the fucking sink somewhere. And I agree that he has a little boy mindset. He does. He's been coddled. He needs to be with the bitch that's been coddled. Oh, got in my ass for saying something about Nick still living at home with his parents. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of you guys still live with your parents, and it shows, and that's fine. But he needs somebody more his speed. Hannah, bitch, you gonna end up alone with 10 cats the way you talk to people. And I find it like majorly disrespectful that Nick said that he didn't want to talk about his sex life on camera, and you are literally going into minute detail with Ashley. Thank you for that tea though, but I really enjoyed the conversation. But he told you he didn't want to talk about sex on camera, and you going into minute detail about how he don't want to lick your cootie cat and can't please you, basically. Like, you just told the world that he sucks in bed. Hannah, everybody take a shot every time Hannah says that Katie is her best friend, her best fucking friend in the whole fucking world. Didn't y'all just meet 3 weeks ago? How the fuck is this your best friend? She's 35 and you're 26? And I hate to be the one to break it to you, Hannah. Katie ain't your motherfucking friend. Because why you didn't have no smoke for Katie, Hannah? That's your best fucking friend. If that was your best fucking friend, you really wouldn't have to worry about her having a conversation with your fiance. Now, when Katie was like, I've always dated the same type of guy. I dated the jock. I dated the this, and that's why I cut you off. Like, Katie, you've been bamboozled because Nick is not that guy. He is no Travis Kelce. I personally found Katie and Nick's conversation a little inappropriate. I know some people said that they didn't find it inappropriate. The fact that they were talking about that they were giving each other goosebumps, making future plans with each other, like, oh, invite me to a game or whatever. I felt like that was inappropriate. Way too many compliments, in my opinion. You're beautiful. Your IG's beautiful. You're dope as fuck. Bitch, I'll slap you. But Katie was able to do something that Hannah was not, which was pick up on Nick's immaturity in the pod. She dodged a bullet because Nick is very immature. Like, he does not deserve what Hannah is giving him by any means, but he's for sure immature. She was saying that he leads with his charisma and that it's a defense mechanism coming from a place of insecurity. I was like, bitch, are you a therapist? Because clock it. I mean, I knew that Hannah was going to have a problem with the conversation. Hell, she had a problem when this man went to ride ducks with a 6-year-old lady. She's still bringing up. But I agree that, like, if you're so worried about it, ask your best friend. Granted, like, yes, ask your fiance, but like, why are you pressing him about this woman saying that he's attractive? He literally cannot control what the girl is saying. But you know who can control what she's saying? Her. So it's like, you let that shit slide once, like, oh, he's super attractive. Okay, cute. Next time he says a bitch, you want him? You want him? You want a piece, bitch? Goddamn. She should have definitely clocked Katie for that, not Nick. Nick can't control that shit. When she told this man, I turned you from a boy to
All right, so that's Hannah and Nick, and yes, by the end of the episode, they did not show up to the dress fitting, and so henceforth they are no longer a couple. Okay, so that is the end of Nick and Hannah. So now we don't have Olua, Stephen, and Monica. We don't have Nick and Hannah. We don't have Tim and Alex. And possibly, I'm going to count them too. We don't have Feel the Beat of the Rhythm of the Night and Marissa. Okay. So we do have Garrett and Taylor, which they had a minor argument. It wasn't a big deal. It was about him responding to an ex-girlfriend's text. And then Taylor she got insecure and blah, blah, blah. And he lied about whatever. They're going to make it. They're going to get married. They're fine. So Tyler and Ashley, when I tell you I am overstimulated by this, so okay. I might, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I do know they get married. I read in a comment that Ashley is pregnant by Tyler. We'll see if that's true, but oh man. Ashley, if this the evidence is overwhelming on Tyler's lies. We have so much evidence. And if everything is true, we'll see by the reunion, then Ashley got. Ashley got so bad. Tyler is a pathological liar, master manipulator. When I saw they were talking about the three kids, and she said, "Do they even know how you what you look like?" And he said, "No." My jaw dropped. My jaw dropped because, sir, how can you sit there? Like, what's the excuse? I feel like Tyler has gotten by on his looks, and he thinks he's so debonair that whatever he says, he can just skate on by it and come up with with an excuse. I'd like to see what excuse he comes up with to defend this lie. I cannot believe he sat there and knowingly, willfully lied to Ashley like that. Like, this is people like this are dangerous. Dangerous. And I'm telling you, I know this. I went through this. People like this will just lie to the point where you start second guessing yourself. It is, when I tell you, these are mental games that people play with people. Like, this is serious. He has everyone fooled. Tyler has Ashley's mom fooled, Ashley's dad fooled. Ashley's mom was just gloating about him and how great of a guy he is. Like, everyone on the show, like, no one's picking up. Listen, give me Leo and give me Olua Stefan over Tyler. Now, give me 15 of them. I'll take them all over Tyler. Hell, I'll take El DeBarge over Tyler. Like, this is insane. And then at the fitting, right? What got me so mad, this really pissed me off, was when Tyler started crying. Like, oh my God, Ashley's so great. Ashley's so great. Oh my God. And then he's like starts crying. His friends are like consoling him. He's like, I'm not crying out of sadness because I never thought I'd meet someone like this. I said, wow. If we didn't listen, if the audience didn't know what we know now, we would be eating Tyler up. Thank God. Oh my God. Now, I'm just curious for Ashley. Like, I can't wait for this reunion. I cannot wait. Let's see what TikTok verse has to say. So I feel like this part, she's basically telling Tyler, I want you in my life no matter what. Look at Tyler's reaction. He's like, I feel like he's like, oh my God, she actually bought it. Oh my God.
I want you in my life no matter what. It's not what I intended for myself, but I feel like it's worth the reward, which is you. So,
Girl, what reward? Three stepchildren automatically that he lied about? Ugh.
And get me.
Look at him. Look at him. Okay, look, this right here was so awkward. He looks shook. Like, oh,
that's what I've concluded.
I like that conclusion.
We're getting married. I feel like I want you in my life no matter what. It's
so other people
not what I
notice this
intended for
too.
myself, but I
It's
feel like it's worth the reward, which is you. So,
And get me. Dang.
really?
look, look at this comment. I thought this too. I think he was like, girl, you don't even know what you're doing, huh? See, that's oh my, I hate that. I hate this so much for her.
That's what I've concluded.
I like that conclusion.
We're getting married.
See, sucker, we got her.
I want you in my life no matter
Oh,
what.
I can't. Oh
Do you want
boy.
the kids know what you look like?
See, this is the part where Ashley asks him, "Do the kids even know what you look like?" This is where my jaw dropped.
Do the kids know what you look like?
I think so.
What a liar.
Diabolical. Well, do the kids know what you look like?
Oh my God.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Diabolical. Well,
That is scary. Oh my, Tyler, you are shit.
Tyler
You
is a
are
monster,
shit.
but more importantly, he is representative of why I tell you to stay away from the demographics. He is a pathological liar and cheater. So there's a woman on here who's tracked the drama and actually found the participants involved and spoken to them directly and gotten all the screenshots. I will link her name later once I find it. But long story short, when he got the woman pregnant naturally, who's had his 3 children, he was engaged to someone else. And she herself was married to a woman and told the woman, "Oh, we're doing artificial insemination." Like basically, they were using the turkey baster method. And that's what she was telling the woman. That's how we got pregnant. When in reality, she and Tyler were having an affair behind both of their partners' backs. The woman's partner was so not in the know that the woman went ahead and signed the birth certificate. The 2 women were both on the birth certificates as parents. They were like, yeah, these are our children, only for the ex-wife to find out later that Tyler had been having a relationship with the children behind her back. She didn't know that was going on. Like, oh my God, that he was just supposed to be a donor. That's why he used that excuse. Only to later use his secret relationship with their oldest child to get the parental rights of the other woman parent, the other mother, taken away from her when she and her wife divorced, ultimately because the woman was cheating on her. He goes into court talking about some, oh, I've always been an involved parent, I'm involved father, like, and she's like, I'm blindsided. I never knew about any of this. But he was not claiming sperm donor status. He was claiming father status, got that woman's parental rights taken away, and now doesn't want anything to do with these children. The other half of it is that he owes a bunch of women money. One 10K, he's paid 2K, so now he owes her 8K, but she had to take him to court. Another a few thousand, and those are just the ones that have exposed him. I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Most of the demographics are dating for survival. His friend got on here saying he's not a jobless deadbeat. He is a jobless deadbeat. And these men, all they do is go from woman to woman, spinning the con of how she's the one and how he loves her, and they need to work together to get it out the mud, because that's how he got these women. If you read his screenshots with them, it's the same damn thing over and over. Ooh, baby, I love you. Baby, can I come over and can I hold something? Like, he trades on his status as a decent looking Black man to prey on these women's insecurities and make them think that, oh my God, they have found the one and all they have to do is just work a little harder and pay a little money and they're going to live happily ever after in Black love fantasy land. But he is not an exception. He is not an outlier. He is not uncommon. Most of the demographics are doing this, even the ones who have money. And before y'all get on here with, oh yeah, Black American, baby, all of them. Jamaicans, Nigerian. I knew a Nigerian guy who was dating 2 girls and he had one paying for his flights home and used the money given to him by one and used her car to impress the other. And I'm sure Tyler's doing the same thing. They will rob Peter to pay Paul. They will take money from one woman and then use it to impress the next woman to get their next crop of victims on the hook. I think of it like a Ponzi scheme. In the beginning, you are going to be getting the gifts and the dates and the dinners and the flowers because he wants to reel you in. So he takes the money he's got from his last con, the woman who he's already run through the first steps of love bombing with, and he spends it on you. He's got her in the Netflix and chill stage of the relationship, 6 months down the line. And with you, person he's just met, he is spoiling you something fierce and telling you you're the one and you all are going to have such a great future. And then he's got a run of hard luck after he's got you hooked. And, he just needs a little bit of help, baby. But you're in this together. I mean, you really love him, right? So you're going to help him out. I'm still holding your hand when
All
I say
right.
this.
So I feel bad. We don't know the whole story. I'm still going to say this, even though what we are seeing appears to be a con. Um, But we shall see. There has to be an explanation for this. But all I know is Tyler is used to doing this. And the thing is, with Ashley, she probably was praying so hard for a good man. And then here comes Tyler, who is saying all the things that Ashley prayed for. These are mental games. And then Ashley thinks this man is the answer to her prayers. So she's probably, you know, ignoring red flags because she's focused on her answered prayers. And that's how she got. And it's sad. But we need to listen. We need to not focus on finding a mate. Listen, a good man will find me. I do not care about finding a man. Because when you're finding, seeking, searching, finding, you in maybe you're ultimately in your desperation will start ignoring. The Bible says, he who finds a good wife, not she who finds a good mate or husband or boyfriend, he who finds. He who finds. And on that note, let's see what happens, y'all. Let's see what happens during the reunion. The next episode comes out next week, and it's the weddings and then the reunion, y'all. What a shit show. I'm over it. Bring Leo back at this point.